You just mentioned losing to the Bengals twice in 4 weeks to end your season and regular season. That definitely affected the eventual seedings. And then the Bengals in the AFC Championship game in your house. The previous season, losing in the Super Bowl caused you to go and say, I know exactly what I'm fixing. And word is that you said that literally leaving the building. You hit the heck out of your offensive line, and you've got a highly improved unit there. What did you leave the AFC Championship game this time thinking about your roster and addressing it? What was that? What was this time about, Brett? What do you think?
It was a little bit different, certainly than the Super Bowl experience against Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
That was just one of those doomsday scenarios where we had an older offensive line, and in addition to that, we had our right tackle who was about to retire, and then the left tackle had a season-ending injury. So that, in addition to the job of those guys, are to protect, what we feel is the best player in the NFL. So that was certainly one of those really obvious, we got to go. There's nothing more important than protecting Pat Mahomes, and we certainly felt good about our plan last year and what we did, and liked that unit a lot. This year it was a little bit more of overall just we need to get better on both ends, and we have a lot of great young quarterbacks, not just in this league, but in particular the AFC, and then again in our division. And so we have to continue to provide the quarterback with weapons and protection, and then we certainly have to try to infuse the defense with more depth and more talent, in particular speed on the back end, and try to build up our depth on the D line. So it was more of an approach that we have to get better in all phases this offseason, and I think we were able to do that, and I think the way we got there was a little bit unique. And I think our plan initially in the offseason was to, we had Orlando on the tag, and we wanted to take care of Tyreek and then kind of address the defense. And then the way the market shifted with the receivers and the way the market shifted with the veteran defensive linemen, we kind of altered our course of action and decided to go through the draft almost entirely. And, again, I think we're happy with the way it turned out, but there's going to be a lot of young guys you're going to see out there on the defensive side. But I think that we're very hopeful that these guys are going to be who we think they are.
Okay, Brett, there's a lot that you just put down there. I'm going to try and pick up a couple of those breadcrumbs, and I'm assuming you'll know exactly which one I'm starting with, and the word Tyreek, because you said that you left the season last year to address his contract first, and the wide receiver market changed. His situation, where we all woke up in the middle of March hearing that he has requested a trade and you were about to oblige him, really is the I think the centerpiece of the craziest month in the history of the NFL. Stephon Diggs summed it up. He tweeted out at the very moment all this broke, 4 simple words: "The hell going on?" is what he tweeted. So I will ask you that question: the hell going on? What happened with Tyreek? Best you can explain, Brett.
Well, listen, it's probably a combination of a few things. The season ended, and as you know, Rich, when teams go to the combine, they certainly go there to evaluate the college prospects, but they also are there to discuss contracts with their players and the agents that are there. So the season ended, and again, the game plan for the offseason was to, get more depth and talent on the defensive side and see if we can take care of Tyreek. And we had a chance to talk to Drew Rosenhaus at the combine on multiple occasions, and I think we laid an initial framework for a contract, and we felt things were kind of trending in the right direction. All big contracts take a few weeks, and some take a few months. But we left there, and we felt like we were in a pretty good place. And then, as you know, the wide receiver market just exploded and went in a crazy different direction. So we were looking at a situation where if we wanted to acquire, let's say, a veteran defensive end, and where that market went, we would do so, but then it would be very difficult to do Tyreek. And how could we sign a veteran defensive end to a contract like that and not address Tyreek's situation, right? That would have been a problem, and it wouldn't have been something that we would have done given our relationship with Tyreek and all that he has done for the organization over the years. And On the flip side, when the market went to where it went, if we did that, in addition to carrying an Orlando Brown tag, in addition to the contracts that we have, then there'd be no way to address the defense and to do anything on the defensive side. So it was either an all or nothing scenario that we just took a step back, and this is, the great thing about how we operate here. We certainly go through all the scenarios, and one of the scenarios was that if we couldn't get something done, this possibility. And so it made sense that if you really wanted to add some weapons and to invest in multiple players and multiple positions, that this may be the best scenario for us. Because, as I mentioned, if you do Tyreek, it's going to be hard to sign some of these veteran defensive linemen. And it also puts you in a bind in years to come. And if you do the defensive linemen, I mean, you'd probably have to tell Tyreek, we couldn't do anything this year. So, again, we would have never gone that direction. So after taking a step back and talking things through with Andy and with Clark, it just made sense for us to entertain this trade. And when we realized that we can get multiple picks, a 1, 2, 4, 4, and a 6, that this would be a way to hit draft and receiver, throw a ton of resources on the defensive side of the football, and then also infuse money back into the cap, both in the short and long term, so that next year we can be a player in free agency. And so this route that we decided to take, it really opened up what we think are many avenues to improve the roster over the next few years.
Fascinating. I mean, that's exactly what generally managing is. That's a general manager right there. And I appreciate your walking us through all of that. So which contract wrecked the buffet table more than it was it the Adams one? Was that the one that basically took anything that was on the table and just flipped it over at that point, Brett?
I think as you saw, Rich, they all did, and Christian Kirk came right out of the bat and opened it up, and then Devontae Adams, and then it was just nonstop, one after the other. So we kind of thought, well, if we do this here, we might be out of free agency the next 2 or 3 years, and look, this game is, it's so hard to be good year in and year out, and you just, more than anything, you have to have a roster that can handle the physicality of this game and, the injuries. And, year in and year out, teams are just holding on to get to the bye week so they can take a breath. And it's hard. And so, like I said, when we thought about this opportunity long and hard and to infuse, not just the picks but the cap space over the next few years, it made a lot of sense to us. And I think it worked out for both parties. I know that's kind of a cliche there, and it's like, sounds good, everybody says it, but I really do. I think that Miami has a chance to do some things with Tyreek, and listen, he lives there and his family's there, and it was important for him to be there, and that was a place he wanted to be. So that's he deserved that, and he certainly has helped us reach heights that many thought were impossible over the years. So I think he was deserving of that contract, and I was happy for him. And then, like I said, I was just happy that we were able to get resources to help continue to build this thing for the next 5-10 years. And I think that we've taken the right step, and that won't be easy, and we're going to have a lot of young guys play football for us this fall. There's going to be a transition period, but after the draft ended and from the time they've been here through the rookie minicamp, we've been certainly impressed with them and their attitude, so we're excited about getting this thing rolling.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.